Take a look at the person next to you and say, God loves you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, 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 we come together. In the name of love, we come together, 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 we come together. In the name of love. Now look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Now lift your voice and repeat after me. Oh, we come together, 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 we come together. In the name of love, we come together, we come together, we come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, from every walk of life, every walk of life, every creed and color, every creed and color, and again should we unite in honor of the God in each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. Oh, we come together, we come together, we come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, we come together, 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 we come together. In the name of love, we come together, we come together, we come together.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Springfield. We're going to begin our service in song. Now the lyrics will be up on the screen. It's Go Tell It on the Mountain.
Wrong keys, I guess. There you go.
Tell it on the mountain that Jesus
Thank you, Gay and Alyssa. We light the Christ candles, a part of our connection to the greater unity movement, where we connect and hold individual ministries in prayer each week. And this week we hold all the ministries in this state of Maryland. So let's go within for a moment and envision this part of our country, state of Maryland, a state that runs from the mountains to the sea. And we see everybody in that state being blessed with love, light, and peace. And we hold that same vision for our world, a world of great variety, both geographically and people. But we see to the core of each that this earth is our home, and that each person is a spiritual being, and we see everyone being blessed with what they need right now in this moment. That's our vision, that's our hope, and we affirm that now. Thank you, God. Amen. Well, we've come to the end of a journey through Advent toward Christmas. And with the changes in the Sunday services the last few weeks, we're finally going to light all the candles. So here we go. And today it's the candle of joy. Remember back when you were a kid and it's Christmas time? It's harder for those of us who've been through a few Christmases. But if we take the time to reminisce a little, we can remember our homes, the Christmas trees, the cookies that somebody else made, and the presents under the tree. There was a glow in our hearts, our souls, in anticipation of the arrival of that important day. And now that we're not kids, we've had to work harder at Christmas many, many, many times. We're the one baking the cookies, buying and decorating trees, buying presents, putting on parties and dinners. If you're a member of the clergy, to be honest, it's a little more work than normal. And planning usually starts in August. So in the production of Christmas, it's possible to lose our sense of joy. We just don't have energy for joy. Joy, what's that? Well, when we were kids, we wanted Christmas to come fast. As an adults, we just kind of wanted to slow down a little bit. But we don't want to lose that childlike sense of joy about Christmas. And so we have to claim and reclaim our joy, to bring it back into our hearts, into our awareness. Carve out maybe an hour or two, or maybe a whole evening just for Christmas joy. Play some music, sip the drink of your choice, watch a Christmas movie, reclaim our joy. The psalmist wrote, "This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." And so we're glad in it. We celebrate joy. We celebrate the real spirit of Christmas. Now I'd like to invite to the platform our board president, Chris Smith.
Good morning and welcome.
Morning.
We are so glad you are here. We extend a special welcome to those of you visiting today for the first time. On your way in today, you should have received a welcome packet. We also have a gift for you. Please see one of our greeters after today's service. Unity is a worldwide spiritual movement. We are an inclusive community, and we welcome all people. Our holiday lineup of events at Unity starts this evening with the annual candle lighting service at 6:30 p.m. We hope to see you then. Check out details in Monday's email update about our other holiday events coming up: the Burning Bowl ceremony, Crystallize Your Intentions, Crystal Bowls meditation, and white stone ceremony. Reiki treatments will be offered after the service today in the chat room. Use the sign-up sheet located in the foyer or ask any of our Reiki practitioners wearing an orange lanyard to receive a free 12 to 15-minute treatment. If you are number 1 and number 2 on the sign-up sheet, go to the chat room after the service to begin your treatment. Other participants, please continue to enjoy fellowship in Margaret Kane Hall until you are called by one of the practitioners. The 9 a.m. Spiritually Speaking class on Sundays is currently studying the book Hell in the Hallway, Light at the Door by Ellen Davenport. The LUTs expect this book on how to move gracefully through change into renewed and abundant life to be a catalyst for great discussions. Books are available in our bookstore. Pick yours up, read a few chapters, and join us. Please note there will not be gathering meditations on Wednesday, December 24th, nor December 31st. The meetings will resume in January. And is Shelley here for an announcement? Us? So Shelley will come up and share with us an announcement regarding SOS.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I just wanted to share a little bit about last night. It was really wonderful. My heart is just so full this morning. We had a great turnout. Everyone there was another church that came in, and there was plenty of food. We worked really well with the other church, and they played music, and it was just really a wonderful night. So thank you for everyone for their donations and cooking and serving and everything you do to make it possible through the church. So thank you.
Now, are you still planning on the meeting Sunday, December 28th? Yes, so next Sunday, December 28th, there will be an SOS team planning meeting after the service in the Meditation Board meeting room. If you would like to financially support the efforts of this outreach program, donations can be made to the church via the website or by check. Please note on your donation that it is for SOS. We are booking artists for Unity's open mic event happening Saturday, February 21st. To participate, contact Gay Kick to lock in your spot now. New Year, New You, 2026 Visioning Adventure. Join us for this creative visioning process and craft a vision board for your dynamic year. To honor the creative process with ample time, we are offering 2 sessions. Saturday, January 3rd from 1 to 3, and then another session Sunday, January 18th at noon. Participate in one or both. All paper and craft supplies will be provided, but please feel free to bring your own pictures and favorite supplies. Offered in the youth room for a love offering, please RSVP to Jen Miller. Emails are sent out weekly that have information on current happenings and how to join in events. To sign up for our emails, ask a greeter for a yellow card to fill out or visit our website to subscribe. Also, check out our website for up-to-date information at unityofspringfieldil.org. That's unityofspringfieldil, all lowercase, all run together, .org. Well, there's not much to update on men's or basketball or football, but women's basketball for Illinois is 11-1. And in the Myrtle Beach Bowl, Western Michigan destroyed Kennesaw State. So for our resident Bronco, congratulations. Well, you know, we are a divided church on that subject. So, but yes, there was a miraculous comeback. We would like to give special thanks to Gay Kick and Alyssa Furling for sharing your musical talents during our Sunday services. And a special thank you to Gay for preparing the weekly song selections for the services. Yep, there we go. Thank you. Creating our lives and our world through the thoughts and beliefs we hold in mind is a spiritual principle we practice at Unity of Springfield. We also know this truth together: there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. Our Unity vision statement, again together: a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. In our Unity mission statement, together: we recognize God is love, individualized in all people. Therefore, we provide a positive environment for spiritual growth that empowers all to be God's love in the world. And our youth and family ministry affirmation, again together: our youth and family ministry empowers the next generation with loving kindness and acceptance, creating safe, sacred spaces for children, teens, and young adults to explore, discover, and experience spirituality. Debbie is off running a mission of mercy this morning, and so I will be filling in for her for today's daily word. She will be joining us for the service tonight. The daily word for Sunday, December 21st is joy. Joy uplifts me as divine light shines from within me. As Advent season draws to a close, I celebrate the light that glows from within me, the light of the Christ within. Just as the 3 wise men journeyed to Bethlehem to see the newborn child, my journey through Advent has led me to discover the faith, peace, and love that are always mine. These are the true gifts of Christmas, ones I carry with me all year long. No matter the challenges and obstacles I may be called to face, I will draw from my infinite storehouse of joy to remain optimistic and centered. Joy is mine today. It is the fulfillment of my Advent journey, my divine inheritance. It is in the fullness of my heart, the contentment of my mind, and the deep feeling of wellness in my soul, I am joyous. From Matthew chapter 2, verse 10, when they saw the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy. And again, our affirmation on joy together: joy uplifts me as divine light shines from within me. Before we hear today's meditation and message from Reverend Alden, we will have special music performed by Dave Tell, Look to the Star. I'm still trying to look for the star.
I'm gonna play this without the music.
I grew up in Hawaii, and whenever something like that would happen, we would say, "Oh, the menehunis got in that kind there," which are like little spirits that mess with things. So like little prankster sort of things. Well, we take this time right now to prepare for a time of meditation, of contemplative prayer, and so let's just close our eyes for a few moments and allow ourselves to relax and let go of the busyness of our lives, to let go of all the preparations for Christmas, all the stuff we have to do. We let that go right now. We are here in this moment to open our hearts and minds to the Christ within. And we understand in a spiritual sense that the birth of Jesus represents the birth of spiritual awareness in all humans, the birth of awakening, of coming to a place of conscious connection with the infinite power of Spirit. And it's one in which our entire body, mind, and hearts are filled with radiant light. And when we're fully ensconced in this light, we feel 100% okay with who we are and where we're going. We embrace the path that is unfolding before us because we know that at the core of our being, that who we are, who I am, is this radiant child of God, this spiritual being, this radiant soul that is ever unfolding, learning, growing. And it's in moments such as these that we can rejoice in that experience, in that knowing. And there's nothing that we have to do to make it happen. There's nothing we have to do to create it. All we have to do is to let go. To be willing to free ourselves from the burdens, from the heaviness, from the distractions of the outer world, and just be open and receptive to what already lies within each one of us. And each one of us is a radiant, ever unfolding, ever growing, and ever learning spiritual being. Let us sit in the silence and allow that being that we are to shine forth for a moment in the silence. Each one of us is one with the one with Spirit, one with the Christ. And it's from that awareness of our oneness that we move forward into the rest of this day and into the rest of our lives with an expanded awareness of our connection, of our oneness, of our relationship with the one source, the one power that is God. And for this knowing, we are grateful and give thanks in the name and through the power of the living Christ presence within us all. And so it is. Amen. I'd like to thank everybody who makes this service possible, and it's, it's so cool to be able to say that rather than put it on a tape to be played later. I'm so glad we're back here in person together in our sanctuary, in our building, and our spiritual home, really. And I've learned a lot the last few weeks about doing virtual services. I tried 2 different approaches. Each has their pluses and minuses. And I have affirmed that for the next 100 Sundays, there will be no weather interruptions. After the 100th Sunday, we'll take a look again. So, but thank you, Gay and Alyssa. I really do appreciate both of you being here and being able to occasionally participate with the music program. And Dave, hey, you didn't even need the track. That was cool. That was good. It was good. And Chris, thank you for being here and doing double duty. And we'll know that Deb is doing what she needs to do. Thank you, Shelley and Danny, back there in our tech booth. To Ron and Doris, who greeted you today. Thank you to Chris Farishon, our administrative director in Cincinnati, who keeps us all on track, and particularly myself. Welcome to everybody who's joining us on YouTube and Facebook. And I want to share with you a really joyful experience I had this past week. You, of course, know, most of you, that we've been collecting stuffed animals and teddy bears for our kids down here at Southern View Elementary, just right down 5th Street over here. And I had the pleasure of going there this Tuesday to present them to the school. And here's what they looked like before I took them down. It took 2 big bags to take them down. That's how many toys that we had for everybody. And I want to share a little of what the interaction was like. And so I'm going to play this video here. Sound up.
Does everybody have one? Okay, so this is what we have left. This is what we have left. You can hang out in River. Well, we have these 2 there. You guys. They go together. Thomas the train.
One more.
Wait, look at my fingers. 1, look at him and say Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for buying the animals. They went to good homes. They really did. Well, I'm going to talk today about the metaphysics of the manger. You know, the Christmas story. We all know the Christmas story. If you don't know the Christmas story, we'll keep listening. The Christmas story is not just something that we read in a book in the New Testament. The story's not even mentioned in the book of Mark or the book of John or in any of Paul's letters. Nowhere. Not once is the Christmas story brought up by any of these important writers. Very interesting. But what we understand the Christmas story to be is a blending of what we find in Matthew and Luke. And one without the other kind of makes the story incomplete as we understand the story. So today I'm going to be metaphysically interpreting the story of the wise men's journey to Bethlehem. Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea during the reign of King Herod. About that time, some wise men from eastern lands arrived in Jerusalem, saying, "Where is the newborn King of the Jews? We saw his star as it rose, and we've come to worship him." Well, King Herod was deeply disturbed when he heard this, as was everyone in Jerusalem. He called a meeting of the leading priests and teachers of the religious law and asked, "Where is the Messiah supposed to be born?" "In Bethlehem in Judea," they said, "for this is what the prophet wrote. And you, O Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are not the least among the ruling cities of Judah, for a ruler will come from you and be shepherd for my people, Israel." Well, then Herod called for a private meeting with the wise men, and he learned from them the time when the star first appeared. Then he told them, "Go to Bethlehem and search carefully for the child, and when you find him, come back and tell me, so that I can go and worship him too." Well, after this interview, the wise men went their way, and the star that they had seen in the east guided them to Bethlehem. It went ahead of them and stopped over the place where the child was. And when they saw the star, they were filled with joy, and as they entered the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshiped him. And they opened their treasure chest and gave him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And when it was time to leave, they returned to their own country by another route, for God had warned them in a dream not to return to Herod. So that's your basic story there. Let's reaffirm that story with this.
In the land where Jesus was born, there ruled a king named Herod. King Herod was known for his magnificent buildings and cities, but he was also known for something not so grand: his fear of losing his power. When Jesus was born in Bethlehem, a bright star appeared in the sky. Wise men from the east saw this star and knew it meant that a new king, the King of Kings, had been born. They wanted to find and worship this new king, so they traveled to Jerusalem and started looking for him. When King Herod heard this, he was very troubled. Herod didn't want anyone to take his place as king, so he called together all the chief priests and asked them where the Messiah was born. They told him, "In Bethlehem of Judea." King Herod secretly called the wise men to find out exactly when the star had appeared. He told them to find the child and report back to him, so that he too could worship him. But Herod didn't really want to worship the new king. He wanted to get rid of him. The wise men went on their way. They followed the star until it stopped over a stable, a house where the animals slept. When they saw Jesus with his mother, Mary, they bowed down and worshipped him. They also gave Jesus gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. But when it was time to go back to King Herod, they were warned in a dream not to return to him, so they went back to their country by another path. When Herod realized that the wise men had tricked him, he was furious. He gave orders to kill all the boys in Bethlehem who were 2 years old and under. This terrible act showed just how far Herod would go to protect his throne. However, God protected Jesus from Herod's plan. An angel appeared to Joseph in a dream and said, "Get up, take the child and his mother, and escape to Egypt. Stay there until I tell you, for Herod is going to search for the child to kill him." Joseph did exactly as the angel said. They ran away to Egypt, and they stayed there until the day Herod had died.
A very positive use of AI, would you say? And a little bit entertaining. But did you notice anything missing from the narrative? Missing from the story? Because isn't this talk about the metaphysics of the manger? The manger. Well, I guess there was a manger in the video. Yeah, there it is. But the word manger is not found anywhere in the Matthew story. It's not there. It's just that the wise men show up and there's Jesus, but not in a manger. So if you want a manger, you have to go to Luke, because that's the other part of the story that's blended together. And we'll cover that tonight in the candlelighting service at 6:30. I know you'll be here. Anyway, that's called a plug. So maybe I should have entitled this talk, The Metaphysics of the Road Trip. But it doesn't have the same ring. I mean, what do you think? I don't know. I don't think it has the same ring. Probably should stick with manger, feeding trough, box, baby bed, crib, metaphysics of, Well, anyway, the question I'd like to throw out is what motivates a person to walk several hundred miles or on the back of a candle to visit the birth of a child who's not even a member of your family? And not merely a visit, but you got to bring gifts of incredible value to this family. Well, what would that have been like? Well, let's take a look at this from our perspective. You know, if you're going to go from the far east of where these wise men came from, and I did a little looking around to see where they were from, and you go to Google Maps, it's an 11-hour car ride. Not bad, you know, it's 1,007 kilometers. That's 626 miles for those of us here in the United States. But wait a minute. Did they have cars back in 80? No cars. Chariots, but you can only go so far in a chariot. And this is for people that had a lot of money. So, what do? You walk. Thank God Google Maps has a setting for walk. Here we go. If you're going to walk there from the east, all of a sudden it's a little farther. It's 1,115 kilometers, 694 miles, 252 hours of walking. That's 10 and a half days if you don't stop. That's like nonstop, 10 and a half days. That's more than walking the Camino de Santiago. You all know what that is, right? I have friends who've walked the Camino. It's in Spain. It's a pilgrimage. I've had friends that have even written books about their walk on the Camino. So who were these guys? These wise men, these astrologers or magi. Well, most scholars speculate that they were priests from Persia, that they were of the Zoroastrian religion. Which was the religion of Persia in that day? What is present-day Iran? A religion that began in the 6th century BC, so it had been around for about 700 years. Now, there's no mention of Zoroastrians anywhere in the Bible or any of the Christian writings. So it's hard to say if the Magi were literally there at Jesus' birth and whether there were actually 3 of them. You know, we come to assume there were 3. As with so much in the Bible, we have to rely on the writer of Matthew to understand this story, to learn to accept that it's genuine. And that's a hard thing for us modern people to do. We live in this postmodern world where the truth is something we have to spend a lot of time discerning. So, perhaps there is some proof of the story. Not so much about the kingly guests at Jesus' birthplace, but what drove them to that place. What drove them there? That was the question. What drove them there, we heard about in the music. follow the star. They're driven by the star, or what we have called the Star of Bethlehem. So there was an expectation that the Messiah would come with a star. And we read in the book of Numbers, I see him, but not now. I behold him, but not near. A star shall come out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel. There have been a lot of attempts to figure out what this star actually was. Now, some people thought, well, maybe it was Halley's Comet, but the timing is off in terms of that, when Halley's Comet comes around. And comets, in ancient times, maybe even modern times, are kind of a part of doom. When you see that comet, something really rough's going to happen. Like the one that's flying by us right now. You heard about it? Huh? Turn it up.
Its closest point to Earth, and it is not from our solar system. It is called 3I Atlas. But here is the part that has astronomers worried. Even after tracking it for 6 months, scientists still don't fully understand what it is. This isn't a normal comet. It is an interstellar object, which means it was kicked out of an alien star system billions of years ago. It has been wandering the dark void of space before entering the solar system. And wait, it gets stranger. As it rushes towards us at 150,000 miles per hour, it is acting weird. It has started glowing an intense, ghostly green and developed a mysterious anti-tail that points the wrong way. It is even accelerating in a way that gravity alone cannot explain. Remember Oumuamua? This is only the third visitor we have ever confirmed in history. It is huge, it is fast, and it is leaving as quickly as it came. While NASA says it will pass us safely at a distance of 170 million miles, the data it leaves behind could change everything we know about the universe.
We have our own kind of comet star thing flying by us right now. Right now. Here's a closer look. 3I Atlas. Who came up with that name? You know, Star of Bethlehem sounds pretty cool. This is kind of weird. What does this current star, comet, interstellar something, what's its message for us? You know, like we're here and then we're the wise men and we see this up in the sky or we heard about it on TV. What does it have to say to us? I think it has to say this. Merry Christmas, Earthlings, and is moving along. Some have speculated that the star that the wise men saw was a supernova. Of course, back then, nobody had the science to really understand that. And there are others who have said that it's a conjunction of planets that happened, a conjunction of Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. And I found some interesting work by a Dr. Michael Molnar of Rutgers University. And he talked about how this conjunction of Jupiter in Aries on April 17th of 6 BCE, which is generally considered maybe the real birth year of Jesus, and also 0, what we call AD. And so here's what he says about it. That spring, Jupiter appeared as a morning star, a bright planet in the eastern sky before sunrise, and over several months moved across the heavens until it seemed to stop over Bethlehem. The Magi, who were healers and magicians as well as astronomers and mathematicians, would have followed Jupiter on its month-long journey, arriving in Judea about December. So some interesting speculation and research about what was this star that the Magi, the wise men in the book of Matthew, were following. Now, I'm not trying to ruin everybody's Christmas by getting all analytical and everything. Don't you get all technical with me, Reverend. That's my Kentucky accent. But then there's a part of us, modern folks, that we kind of have inquiring minds. We kind of want to know maybe what went on. We could just go our merry way and believe the myth that we've been told since we were a child, or we could work to be more informed about our religious heritage, to use archaeology, to use science, to explain the probable story. And one of the things I talk about in my book, Wisdom for a Lifetime, when we're trying to understand the Bible from a factual sense, or even an historical sense, is to consider the probable facts. Because we don't have any third-party ability who witnessed it, could tell about it, that we can read about it in some other book. So we have to kind of do a little bit of investigation, and some of it involves science. So we have a good probability that maybe we figured out what the star was that the wise men saw. And it gives more plausibility to the existence of our wise men. And what does this all mean in a spiritual sense, in a universal sense? So what we do is we engage then in metaphysical or allegorical interpretation. And we ask, well, what does the star and the wise men symbolize in our consciousness, in the unfolding process of our spiritual lives? The wise men represent our search for our innate wisdom. Each one of us is a seeker of truth. All of us. And we've journeyed a long way to see the baby Jesus and have come to appreciate it. We didn't just hop a flight from Ctesiphon. That's considered maybe where the wise men came in the Far East. Today, that's a suburb of Baghdad. But they didn't catch a flight from there to Bethlehem. And so we need to bring this story right down to today, to December 21st, 2025. If we're willing to put in the work of finding the star, of finding the Christ, if we're willing to do that, we'll do the travel that we need to. So remember, we're the wise men. We're the truth seekers here. And so for us, that could be a lot of things. It could be, coming to this service. It could be going to a workshop, going to a webinar, joining a class, reading a book, engaging in a conversation. That's our journey that we take to get more of the knowledge that we're seeking. And listening to our wise thoughts. I don't mean being a wise guy. You see enough of that in me. But those thoughts that ring true in our hearts, our intelligence, our inner brilliance. And we had to have that kind of wisdom to deal with the Herods in our way. Who are the Herods? Who are those Herods? Excuse me. You see, we had to keep our eyes on the star, that Jupiter conjunction. And where is this star metaphysically? It's in us, isn't it? It's the inner light of truth that guides and directs us to our highest good. So let us imagine that there's this bright star that is within each one of us that has the light of, say, 100,000 suns. Can we imagine that? Well, that's how brilliant this star really is inwardly. And about that star, it's following that in our daily lives. It's about seeing and feeling and listening to our spiritual guidance. We ask the question, is this person the right person for this position, or is this the right job for me? We ask the questions and we listen to that wisdom within us. We listen to the light of the star within us. Is this car the best vehicle for my transportation needs? I do that all the time when I'm on Facebook Marketplace looking at cars, and oftentimes the answer is no. Alden, you already have your dream car. Or when you think about this winter, I got ahead of myself. And you're thinking, do I need to get one of these? The inner light will tell us. I predict we don't need another one of these, personally. That used to be mine. That was mine. Yeah. But what tries to interfere with this light of the truth? This is where I got ahead of myself when I mentioned Herod. There he is. Pretty frightening image, isn't it? Here, this image, this Herod, who is very paranoid, very concerned, very worried, very fearful, represents our fear, our sense of having to control life. It also represents kind of the nasty side of ourselves that can take us into a negative direction. Because Herod's the one that wants to hold on to power. And Jesus' birth, the birth of the Christ, represents a direct interference in his kingship, in his expression of his ego self. And that represents in us our attachments to all of the stuff that we need to let go of. We may not want to acknowledge that we maybe have a little bit of a Herod inside of ourselves. And so, what do? We have to keep it in check. We have to monitor it and keep our eyes on what? What did the wise men do? They keep their eyes on the star, on the light, on the direction that we want to go. So we've got Herod in the story representing this ego, fear-driven aspect of consciousness. And then we have the priests. And they represent ignorance, just the intellectual aspect of consciousness. They can't see the star because they're not looking for it. They can't see it. They can't see it in themselves because they're stuck in their intellect. Now, astrology was not so much a part of Jewish practice. It's considered pagan. But the wise men bring them up to speed about what they saw, the star and its meaning. And they told him where Bethlehem was. They got local directions. And then again, the wise men have the star anyway. You know, you can get local directions from somebody, but then, you know, you've got your smartphone, you got satellite navigation. You're thinking, oh, they didn't have that back then. Yes, they did. The Star of Bethlehem is what guided them. And it took them right to where Jesus was. Here's Jesus. The manger. Of course, we don't read about it in Matthew, but this place where Jesus was lying represents the birth of spiritual awareness, as does the birth of every child in this world. But his arrival marked the beginning of a shift for humanity from that old-fashioned eye for an eye approach to a more loving and more compassionate approach, as we saw expressed in his teachings. They were brought into this presence of love, and he was and is a gift of love for everyone. And so the wise men gave in kind. They gave in love. They gave gifts of what? Which you can get on Amazon for $44.99. Yes, we too can give the gifts of the wise men. But they paid Jesus the respect that he deserved. And they were blessed for this experience. And they were guided away from all that Herod represented. They figured it out. So let's see this story of the wise men. Their journey from the Far East to first Jerusalem, then to Bethlehem, as a blueprint of our own spiritual awakening. And we become wise men when we let the light of the star guide us, when we listen to our own intuition, our own wise thoughts, our own inspiration, and embrace love and give with love in our hearts. Back to the question, what motivates somebody to travel a long distance to witness the birth of a child? Well, it's in here. It's within us. Ooh, music, right on cue. So we're going to sing a song now, and it's number 291 in your red hymnal. 291. You want to know what it's called? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Christ is born within us. It's a very extraordinary day. Hallelujah, let the Christ within us radiate so we can celebrate this day. Make a joyful sound, let sleigh bells jingle. Joy is always found when love thoughts tingle. Merry Christmas, let us join in oneness. Blow your horn, for Christ in you is born to stay. On this merry Christmas day.
Well, that was fun. I don't think I've ever sung that one.
Really?
No, I never did. But it's cool. Thank you for choosing that, Gay. No, yeah. Well, now we have an opportunity to give of our treasure and of our love to our ministry, Unity of Springfield. So if you came here with a gift to share, we have bowls in the front and back of the sanctuary to receive your gift. If you'd like to donate electronically, visit our website at unityofspringfieldil.org. If you're watching online right now, there should be a link showing up in your feed. You can also text to give at 217-335-4121 or mail us a check right here to 417 East Cordelia Street, Springfield, Illinois, 62703. I've been watching too many commercials. And now let us affirm together our offering blessing. Together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful. Amen. Let us now pray together. The prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well. Let us now rise, form a circle as we sing, "Let there be peace on earth."
We all together?
We are.
Peace
hearts, today and throughout our lives. Amen. Hope to see you guys tonight.